Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button for me. Also, if you'll leave a comment and hit like, all those things help support my channel and I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, you'll stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music, just like this. Today, we're going to take a look at a brand new, actually debut solo album by Green Day frontman and lead vocalist Billie Joe Armstrong, right? So, I mean, obviously he's done so much out there, but he's finally put out an album under his name. Interesting story behind it. We'll get to all that. As I said, you know, he's probably most famous for being the frontman, guitarist, songwriter for pop punk band Green Day, but he's also a producer, and he also had started his own record label, Adeline Records. Of interesting note, in 1993, Billie Joe was actually asked by Tim Armstrong from Rancid to join the band. Of course, he declined because of the current progress that Green Day was experiencing in 1993, right before their 1994 explosion that they had. And of course, you know, then Green Day goes on to become a household name at that point, and that 1994 album ends up selling 10 million copies. That was Dookie from 1994. And then, you know, now this interesting, a decade later in 2004, they release American Idiot, that then explodes again, doing 6 million in sales. And that one was a rock opera that was then later actually turned into a Broadway show. And of note, Billie Joe actually starred in it, taking over for the lead when the lead got sick towards the end of it. And so Billie Joe's actually a Broadway actor or performer, as well as all these other things that you know, he has under his belt. And so you know, the band has gone on to sell 75 million albums worldwide, and in 2015 the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then, you know, beyond his day job being in Green Day, of course, Billie Joe has a number of other musical projects that he's done. Pinhead Gunpowder was one of the first ones. This band was around for nearly 20 years, 1990 to 2010. They only released one studio album called Goodbye Elston Avenue, which came out in 1997, but they did release 8 EPs while they were active. Then there's Billie Joe and Nora, and this was formed in 2013 with Nora Jones. Their debut album was called Foreverly, and is a collaboration, or I should say a collection of traditional songs done in a jazz pop style, and it's a reinterpretation of the Everly Brothers' 1958 album called Songs Our Daddy Taught Us. Then he's got a band called The Long Shots. It was formed in 2018, and their debut album is called Love Is for Losers. It was released the same year, but it's digital only. It never was released on CD or vinyl. And the album itself was almost entirely recorded by Billie Joe on his own, with the exception of his son playing drums on one of the tracks. In essence, it's a solo album, all in but name. They've also released 4 EPs. And then there's the Green Day side projects, where it features all 3 of the band members of Green Day in these bands. You got the Foxborough Hot Tubs. They were formed in 2007, and their debut album Stop, Drop, and Roll was released in 2008. And while they're still active now, they've only released that one album. And then there's a band called The Network, which formed in 2003. And this one's more along the lines of a new wave style band. They're originally a secret band, and no one knew that they were Green Day, but they have since confirmed that they are in fact the same guys. Their debut album called Money Money 2020 came out in 2003, but now their follow-up album called Money Money 2020 Part 2 is actually being released this coming Friday on December 4th. So if you're looking for some additional Green Day beyond just this Billie Joe release that's here, check December 4th. New The Network album is coming out called Money Money 2020 Part 2. Very fitting for 2020, the year. And then in 2018, Billie Joe and Green Day bassist Mike Dirnt formed the Cover-Ups in order to play cover songs. They performed sporadically throughout 2018, but then, you know, COVID hits in early 2020, and we know that that sort of disrupted everything. which is how this project here formed. Billie Joe created a Zoom series that was called No Fun Mondays. And initially he said he would release a new cover song each week until we are let back into the world. Well, he made it 3.5 months and did 14 cover songs. Unfortunately, we have still not fully been let back into the world, and it sort of looks like the world might be shutting down again, but at least we've got Billie Joe gathering all of these up, all 14 of these, and releasing them under the name of No Fun Mondays. So this just came out November 27th of 2020, and in my opinion, this here is just utterly fantastic. It's an excellent song selection. The performance on it is really good, high quality recording. This isn't just some thing done live over the internet sort of a thing. And the tracks really bring back great memories for me. It's nice hearing some of these pop songs that I knew back in the day, but never really got into based on who originally sang them, such as the first track on here, the opening track called I Think We're Alone Now. This one is originally done by 80s pop teen singer Tiffany. This was one of those ubiquitous 80s hits that seemed like every teen girl was into it. Here it's done in typical Green Day fashion, pop punk style to it. And finally, I can sing along to this guilty pleasure because I knew the song and I heard it. It just wasn't something that I was, or a style of music I was typically into, but now I can finally listen to it the way that it's done here. Interesting side note, Tiffany eventually shed her, pop image or teen image and posed in Playboy. So if you're interested, you want to check that out, look that up. It's an interesting thing. Track 3, Manic Monday, was written by Prince, but made famous by 80s group The Bangles. And this is another one of those guilty pleasures. I did like this one also back in the day and enjoyed it very much, but really haven't listened to much Bangles since then, as I'm much more into the rock and metal and things of that nature. But again, great to hear the way that he does his version here. And then track 7 on here, we've got You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory. This one was originally by Johnny Thunders and came from his 1978 debut solo album masterpiece called So Alone. If you're not familiar with this album, do check it out. It's utterly fantastic. The yearning and loneliness that can really be felt in the way that Billie Joe sings this one here. It's a great fit on this record, how it's performed. Track 8, Kids in America. This one was originally done by Kim Wilde. It was her debut single in 1981, and Billie has added a really nice sort of snarl to the way that it's sung here, making it even more punk than pop, so that's really nicely done. And track 12, Whole Wide World, originally done by Reckless Eric. This one was written apparently in 1974, not recorded until 1977. This one's been covered by a whole host of artists. I've known it, performed by other artists kind of thing, and it's really great to get a Billie Joe Armstrong version of it done here, and I think it fits perfectly on this album. Let's take a quick peek at this. I really like the cover of it, the swirl on the glasses and the crazy hair. I mean, certainly how we all felt during lockdown and everything. There's the spine and the back of it with the track listing running this direction on it. And if we open it up, there's the inside of it. Let me pop the disc out. Cool that they bring that spiral through. And there's the underside. And I'll let you take a look here at the booklet. Even though the booklet is not much going on, it is just a single page. Kind of wish there was a bit more explanation to what these tracks are. There is a little bit of stuff down here on it, but it would have been nice if Billie Joe went into why he chose the tracks or anything like that that could have been included in the booklet, and or just some shots from within the recording studio. Again, I like buying the CDs. I feel like if you're going to shell out for the CD, it'd be nice if they would include a little bit more to the booklets that go along with these things. But there you go. Really great, album in my opinion. I think the selections on here are perfect. In my opinion, no bad selections were on here. It all flows really well. If you're missing Green Day, you want something that's in that vein, I do highly recommend checking out what I would call a pop punk, piece of genius here, the way this is done, but if you also just want to hear a new spin on these classics, I would also recommend checking this out, because the way that this flows, all these great late 70s, early 80s hits, the way they're put together on here just flow seamlessly and are such a fun listen to have. And again, here's another one of those lockdown albums that we're getting. We're getting starting at the tail end here now of 2020. These are starting to come out, so really can't wait until 2021 to see what else is happening. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please check back. I do lots of these album reviews and things like this. Leave your comments, let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.